Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Shop My Stash. Finally, I have been trying to get around to filming an updated Shop My Stash for probably 3 weeks now. I feel like this rotation has been going for the last at least 5 weeks. The nice thing is I moved my Alex drawers right next to my vanity, so if I have felt the need to reach for something, or if I felt really not overwhelmed by the products in my Shop My Stash, but if I feel bored by them, I have been able to reach into my other makeup drawers and grab for things that I'm interested in. But I am really excited to go through my drawers with you, to talk about the products that I have been using very consistently, and to get a new stash going. So I'm really excited to pick some fall themed products now that we are into September, and I hope that you guys are too. But if you are interested in seeing first my thoughts on the products that I have been using and then my selections, stay tuned. I will try and include a timestamp in the video or in my description box going forward if you're just interested in seeing the new selection of products. But if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave today. I post tons of project pan videos. I used to be better about Shop My Stash videos, and also I just love to chat about makeup. So we do a lot of chatting about makeup in different style of videos here, and if that is something that interests you, then I would love if you would consider subscribing before we move on. But other than that, let's just jump into finally picking new makeup to work on. All right, you guys, so we always start on this side, and I still have a ton of items going in projects right now, so bear with me. All the stuff on top here is stuff that's going in projects. In this top drawer, we still have some project pan items in here as well. My Wander Beauty is going in a project, as well as my YSL foundation. As far as primers are concerned, this Cover FX primer was going in a project, and now I feel like I'm so close to finishing it. I would love to just do so, but I have used this so consistently the last couple of months. I think I'll put it away for a little bit. I obviously don't have that much left, so I feel like if I pulled this out in like November or December, I could easily finish this by the end of the year. But for right now, I am going to be putting this back. I am also going to put back my Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Primer. This is a pretty primer. I think it's way overpriced for what it is. I did get some good use out of it throughout August, just as a nice glowy primer, but I am ready to play around with some of my other primers. I feel like my primer collection has been so neglected just because I've had so many primers I have been working on throughout various projects. So I'm really excited to pick out some new primers today. Next, we have my Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. This is the illuminating version. I am so close to finishing this. This has been a sort of a product that I'm unofficially trying to pan. So I'm just going to leave this in because I feel like I have less than a month left of use on this. And usually I mix this with my Wander Beauty Nude Illusion. So I feel like I'm just going to keep this in until this is done because I'm so close to being done with this. I am ready to put back my IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Illuminating CC Cream. This is something that I love in the summertime, but usually put away after the summer is over. Mine probably is this expired? I don't know. I would not be surprised if mine is expired. So next summer or the next time that I pull this out, if I'm ever able to go on vacation, usually I travel with this. I probably should not rely so heavily on this for the SPF 50, but this is something that I do love and always plan to have this product in my collection. Even though it isn't my favorite finish, I do love it for the SPF 50, but I definitely am ready to put this back. And then I also have my Too Faced Peach Perfect. I do have this in my summer shade, and right now I'm trying to scrub off my self-tan. I will probably self-tan again, but I'm in that awkward phase right now where I'm trying to scrub off my self-tan, and I probably won't tan as many times during the week so I don't look like I'm constantly going on vacation and just look unnatural in this Minnesota fall and winter weather. So I am ready to put this back as well. I'm curious if they are discontinuing this because this line is 40% off currently at Sephora and has been for a while now. So I would be kind of sad if they discontinued this because I do really like the finish of this. So if that is the case, then I guess I'll just have to finish this up and find some sort of replacement for this. But that is my top drawer. As you can see, I have 3 sort of like foundations still going. I have so many foundations I'm currently trying to pan, but I've kind of come to terms with the fact that there's a few that I think I'll finish and some that I won't, and that's okay. But I would love to start to use some of the foundations that I really am excited about this year, rather than just continuing to neglect them because I'm trying to pan so many foundations. And then there's tons of room for new foundation and primer when we get to the selection process part of this video. Whoopsies. The second drawer, I have my bronzers, powders, and concealers. I swear this one might not be the exact picks that I had from the last video. I have 4 concealers currently in here. I have my Oma Beauty Woke Concealer. I have been loving this. This is something that I've been testing so that I can give my follow-up review on. I feel like I have used this enough to know how I feel, and I do have the Ulta Beauty Full Coverage Concealer that I'm now trying to work on panning. So I think I will put this away for the time being. I've been working on a full review of the Ilia Beauty line, so I have been getting a lot of use out of the Ilia Beauty Concealer. I do really like this one. It definitely is a lot more lightweight and light coverage than a lot of the concealers that I'm used to, but I like the way that this mixes with the Ulta Beauty Concealer, so I think that I will actually keep this one in for the time being, but I am going to put my Kosas concealer back. This is definitely a favorite concealer of mine. I've gotten so much use out of it. My cap is broken. I do eventually want to finish this so that I can just replace it because the whole cap situation is kind of annoying. But if you are looking for a nice hydrating medium coverage concealer, I definitely recommend this one from Kosas. I think it is incredible. For powders, I have my Bite Beauty pressed powder. I am going to keep this in just because this is one of my only pressed powders. Surprise, I was able to hit pan on this, and this isn't even going in a project. This is my favorite pressed powder at the moment. I am interested in picking up the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush powder again, just to kind of see how the two compare. I really like both of them, but because this is my only pressed powder right now, I'm going to keep this in, and then I'm also going to keep in my Ambient Luminous Light pressed powder. This is going in a project, and I have been using this as a subtle highlight lately and really enjoying it that way. I am going to be putting back both of these bronzers. I've gotten so much use out of these throughout the month of August. First, we have my Hourglass Luminous Bronze Light Bronzer. This is a beautiful glowy bronzer, but I typically tend to reach for more of a matte bronzer in the fall and winter months, so I'm ready to put this back. And then my Cover FX Duo, I have been getting so much use out of. I absolutely love this bronzer. It's one of my absolute favorites, but because I've reached for it so much, I'm ready to show some of my other bronzers some love. My Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder is going in a project, as is my Milk Makeup Bronzing Stick. So these are the things that we will leave in this drawer. And then in my bottom drawer, this is kind of a mess. I don't really know what exactly happened here. I don't know why my Mario palette's here. I do have the Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette that I am currently working on, as well as my Dose of Colors Baked Browns palette. So those will stay in. I am going to be putting back my Mario palette. I've gotten so much use out of this year. I do think I am going to try and do a pan that palette next year, and this is going to be the palette that I choose. So I feel like I was leaving it in here kind of to try and start to work on it a little bit. Maybe I'll keep it in here because I do have room. I always keep my Kaja Fenty Beauty Trios here just for easy access, easy reach, and to make sure I'm not forgetting about those. This ColourPop Super Shock Shadow is going in a project, and then I was trying to get some use out of these Natasha Denona minis. I feel like I got good use out of the Mini Nude, even though this is so fall. I kind of want to I'm going to keep both of these in for right now. In fact, I think I will end up pulling in all of my Natasha Denona minis and just putting them in this drawer and trying to get a ton of use out of them in September. So I'm going to plan for that when we go for the rest of the selection process. Okay, and then moving over to the other 3 drawers. In the top drawer, we have all of my blush. I do have quite a few things going in projects. So Hourglass is in a project. The Tarte Partey blush that my packaging broke on is going in a project. These I'm going to remove. I have my MAC Cheer Up Glow Play Blush. I got quite a bit of use out of this, especially in August when I felt like this was a really, really beautiful summer shade. Same thing goes for Buxom Ibiza. I got some good use out of this, but I feel like this is, actually I could probably get away with this as a fall time shade if I'm wanting to reach for something more pink. I'm going to put this away since I have gotten quite a bit of use out of it, but may reach for this again. Maybe it is a little bit too pink for, we'll see. I'm going to put it away for right now. My Fenty Cream Blush I've gotten a ton of use out of. I'm ready to put this back. My Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in Peachgasm is another product that I'm trying to like unofficially pan. So I'm going to keep this in. I do have my Flower Beauty, or not Flower Beauty, I have my Becca Flower Child blush, which I got a ton of use out of. This is a really, really, sorry. Okay, hopefully the lighting is possibly a little bit better. This is in Flower Child. I got a ton of use out of this summer. This is more of a summer shade, so I'm glad I got some great use out of that, but I'm ready to put that back. My Ilia Beauty Color Haze Multi-Use Pigment. I love this shade for this time of year, so I am going to keep this in. My Nude Sticks Nudies Soft Peach Peony. I got a lot of use out of this. I do really like this product, but I'm ready to put this back. I'm also going to be putting away my Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Puff. Got a ton of use out of this. I was able to get some good use out of my Alamar Cosmetics blush palette as well. This was really, really beautiful for the month of August, and I'm glad I finally reached for this. I hadn't reached for it much. I had not reached for it much at all this year, and summer was a perfect time to reach into it. I really do love the blush formula. I'm very interested in trying out the new bronzer formula, and I did see that Alamar Cosmetics is now going to be available in Target, which I'm super excited about, so very excited. I love this brand, but I am ready to put that back. I also did get quite a bit of use out of MAC Warm Soul. This is really pretty if you're just trying to add like a little bit of a neutral sheen over something that maybe was like a little bit too pigmented, or if you're just looking for a very natural blush, just a natural glow to the cheeks. This is beautiful. This is something that I could see myself reaching for year round, but I did use this so much in August. I'm ready to put this back. And then we have my Hourglass Mood Exposure, which is going in a project, so that will stay. Into my highlight drawer. Okay, here's where it gets a little wonky. I'm going to put my iconic London Illuminator drops back. I have been absolutely loving these. When I first used them, I wasn't 100% sure how I felt, but the more I've gotten into cream and liquids, the more I love these. This gives a very intense glow, and if you just lay them like straight on the cheeks, but if you do the reverse foundation and lay these down before you put your foundation on top, it gives the most beautiful lit from within glow, and I have been obsessed. My Dose of Colors I Love Sarah E collabs. I have been using these a ton as inner corner highlights. These highlights are a little bit intense on the cheeks for me, but I have been absolutely loving them in the inner corner. I think I should put them back. I've gotten a ton of use out of them, so I'll put them back. My Artist Couture, what do they call these? The Diamond Glow Powder in Summer Haze. I freaking adore this highlighting powder. Even though it's messy, it gives the most glossy look to the cheeks without being like a stripe of highlight, and I just truly am obsessed. I want to keep these in. I'm going to keep these in for a little bit longer. I got some use out of them, but I would love to get some more use out of them, and I would even be interested in picking up more shades of this during like the next Sephora VIB sale. I love that this isn't focusing. There we go. But this formula in general is just absolutely beautiful in my opinion. My Mary Lou is going in a project, as is my Becca Rose Quartz, so those will stay. I did get quite a bit of use out of my Lancome highlighting palette. I was mixing Gilded Gold and Sparkling Peach a lot this summer. I was hoping to see a little bit more progress to see if maybe I could hit another pan in this palette, but I've used this palette so much this year. I am ready to kind of put this one away. I don't know how much more I'll reach for this one this year because I have just used it so much, but I was excited to get a play around with the other two shades that are more summer tones for me. Next, I have my Persona Zuma highlight. I did reach for this one quite a bit as well. This is a little bit deeper for me, so I don't think that this will work through the winter time, so I'm very glad that I got some use out of it before the summer ended, but I am ready to put this back. My Danessa Myricks highlight. This is called the Dew Wet Balm. I only reached for this a couple of times. I am growing more fond of this than I originally was, but there definitely is still a learning process to this, and it is very sticky, which I don't love, so I'm still learning this product, but I would actually like to keep this rolled in and continue to play around with it. So this one's gonna stay. And then let's see, I have my Fenty Beauty highlighter in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal, my favorite highlight ever. This is still going in a project, so this will stay. But this one, the project that this was in just ended. This is in Girl Next Door and Chic Freak, so I will put this guy away. And then the bottom drawer just has a couple of face palettes. This one I think is going in a project. Sometimes I get my projects confused, but I believe this is going in a project, so I am going to keep this. And then as far as the Becca palette is concerned, I didn't reach for this one as much as I would have liked to. This I have in that mini that's going in my project pan, and this bronzer may end up being a little bit too deep for me. Even though this is beautiful, I think for both summer and winter, I'm going to put this back and choose a different face palette for the time being, and this might be something that I circle back to come the end of the year. Alright you guys, so that brings us to this section where we are going to shop my stash. Starting with my primer and foundation drawer. I think, sorry, I'm literally holding my camera up right now if it's feeling a little like wonky. I want to grab a gripping primer, and then I also want to grab a hydrating primer. I think I'm going to grab the Good Molecules Silicone Free Priming Moisturizer for my hydrating primer. This reminds me a lot of the Smashbox Photo Finish Priming Moisturizer. They are almost exact dupes in my opinion. So I'm going to grab that, and then I'm also going to grab the Tula Face Filter Blurring and Moisturizing Primer for my gripping primer. Actually, shoot, I have some new primers I forgot about. So actually, we're going to wait to pick another primer till we get to my new primer drawer. I will pick one foundation to focus on, and then I have another couple new foundations to choose from. I actually think I'm going to choose my L'Oreal Pro Glow and see if I can get this to mix with my Wander Beauty Nude Illusion Foundation and see how I like that mixture. My Pro Glow is getting a little bit old in my collection. I feel like it's one of my older foundations now in my collection, and it's still like pretty full. So I would like to see some significant progress made on this throughout the course of the next couple of months. I don't think I'll finish this by the end of the year, but this is a favorite foundation of mine and one that I would repurchase when finishing. But I would, because this is getting older, still like to focus on it and make some good progress. All right, you guys, moving on to my powder and concealer drawer. I do have one new concealer that I plan to grab, so I don't think I'll grab a concealer out of this drawer. I'll wait till we get to the new drawer. And then as far as powder is concerned, I recently finished up my Hourglass powder, so I think I got the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder in BoxyCharm. I've gone through a full one of this, and I think that this one is beautiful, and I do want a little bit more of a heavy powder for this time of year, especially with the masks and trying to get the least transfer possible. So I think I'm going to pull this powder out, and then we'll call it good for this drawer. Moving on, whoops. Moving on, I think maybe I can set my camera down now. Okay, moving on to my bronzer drawer, you guys. What do I want to choose? I need to remember, like, I think the Fenty Beauty might be a little bit too light for me. I have a cream one going, and there's also a cream bronzer I want to grab from my new drawer. You know what? It has been a while since I have, like, consistently used my Marc Jacobs Tantastic bronzer. So I think I will grab this, and oh, this is a tough one, you guys. I don't know that this is going to be a great bronzer for me right now. This is the Sunwashed Laguna bronzer, and this one definitely takes a little bit more building, but maybe I will grab this. I would love to pan this bronzer next year, so I would love to like start to make some progress on this, at least throughout the course of the end of the year. So I think I will grab these two and call it good for the bronzer drawer. Moving on to my very full blush drawer. This is like out of control. Do I have new blushes? I have a couple of new blushes. I think maybe I'll choose, I have some new cream blushes, so I don't want to grab any new creams. I think, you know what, it's been a little bit since I have used my Clinique Cheek Pop in the shade Pink Honey Pop, which is a really beautiful neutral pink shade. So I think I'll grab this. And then for a little bit more of a deeper fall toned blush, I'm going to grab my Pillow Talk Intense Cheek to Chic blush by Charlotte Tilbury. And then actually I also think I will grab, where is it? I'm gonna grab Warm Honey, my Cover FX Warm Honey Duo as well. I love this one for the fall. There's also a blush palette I wanna grab from my face palettes, so we gotta cut it here for the blush. Moving on to highlights. My highlighter drawer, you guys, is getting out of control as well. I think I wanna grab a cream highlight, even though I do have another liquid highlight coming up. Even though I have another liquid highlight coming up in my new drawer I want to grab, I want to use this one a little bit more. I was so focused on some of my other cream. I'm going to put my cream highlights back here. I was so focused on some of my other cream highlights this past month that I feel like I neglected the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Beauty Light Wand. So I'm gonna grab this. I also want to grab ColourPop Lunch Money. I absolutely love to pack this on top of a liquid highlight. I just think it is such a stunning look. And then I will also grab my Natasha Denona Glow highlight. I love this. There's serious pan going on this, but this is just such a beautiful champagne shade. So I think we're gonna call it good for highlights from here. Okay, then we have my face palette drawer, and I know I really want to grab my Lorac palette. This has four blushes and 2 highlights, and I just love this palette for this time of year because of these like mauve nude sort of like rosy shades. I just think they're so beautiful. There are 2 highlights as well. The highlights aren't my favorite, but I do love the blushes in here, especially for this time of year. So this is the face palette that I really want to grab for. And then all the way down here, you guys, is my new stuff drawer. This is like really out of control. I was like trying to organize it. I'm sorry, you can see like, if you can see I just got new slippers today. Anyway, so I have a bunch of new lip products in here. I think I'll just leave my lips and reach for them as I want to. But I really want to try, I have both gripping primers. So I have both gripping primers from Urban Decay. I have their new Ultra Glow as well as the original one that they came out with. And I would love to test both of these and see if I like them and which one I like better. So I'm going to grab both of these. For foundation and concealer, I am super excited to test out these new Rare Beauty products. I picked up a foundation and concealer, so I'm gonna grab these. I'm also very interested in playing around with the highlight from the line. And then I picked up the ColourPop Little Ray of Sunshine, basically collection. So I'm gonna grab these 2 Super Shocks so that I can pair them with the palette as I play around with the palette. I also want to grab, also would really love to play around with the shade Vivid from the Hourglass Scattered Lights collection. So I'm gonna grab this, and then the final 2 products I'm gonna grab from this drawer, actually 3. And like I said, you guys, this drawer is literally right next to where I get ready, so I can always reach into it as well. I did pick up the Huda Tantour bronzer, the cream bronzer. I love how nothing wants to focus. I also did pick up the Huda Beauty Tantour cream bronzer. I've used this a couple times and really enjoyed it, but I definitely want to continue to use it so I can give my full review. And then I did pick up a highlight from Soul Body. I picked mine up in the shade Soft Pink. And this is what this one looks like. I've swatched this, but I haven't tried this on my cheeks yet. I'm nervous about the swatches. I wasn't impressed by the swatches, but we'll see how it looks on the actual cheeks. And then finally, I'm really excited about this Dominique Cosmetics liquid shadow in the shade Electric Soul. It just looks so freaking beautiful. So I cannot wait to play around with this. And that will be it for my new drawer. Now I'm gonna go grab some palettes that I would like to focus on, and I will show you. I've been storing, oh boy. So I've been storing my palettes in this bottom drawer that I kind of want to have like easily at reach, because otherwise they're in my closet. So I will be right back. I'm going to grab all the palettes that I want to fill this drawer with. Okay, you guys ignore me. I'm going to be squatting down here to fill this up. So some of the palettes, I'm going to put all my Z palettes in here with all of my single shadows. I've been loving playing around with single shadows this year, so those are going to go in there. And then I have my Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. I have all 3 of the Melt palettes that I own. I think these are going to be perfect for this time of year. I love how Smoke Sessions pairs with Gemini. And then I'm also going to pull the Rust. So those are going to be in here. I also have my Huda Beauty Nude Medium and Nude Rich. I love these tones for this kind of year. They're like these beautiful, deeper, mauve-y pink tones. And I've been having a lot of fun with those. Speaking of mauves, it's been a little bit since I've reached into my Tarte Unleashed palette, and I love this mauve toned row on top. So I thought that it would be a good time to pull that as well. Speaking of mauves, this one screams fall to me as well. I think I can have a ton of fun with my Lila palette. And then I'm also going to include one of my all-time favorite palettes, the Jackie palette with ABH. And I think that will be enough palettes to keep me busy, because I also have the new ones that I brought into my collection I will also be testing out. Alright, you guys, we are back in front of my makeup vanity. My drawers are filled with all their new stuff. There's definitely some room in some of the drawers to add some more if I were to decide to do that. And then maybe I can share what I pulled as extra during the next update. I think I'm going to do this every 3 weeks going forward. I definitely extended it way too long this time around, but 3 weeks feels like a good amount. 2 weeks was getting to be a little bit too short of a time frame for me. And then, I also forgot to mention, you guys, for setting sprays, eyeliners, and lips, I really just grab what I feel for that day, so that's why I don't shop my stash for those items. But I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I will also link my Project Pan, all of my Project Pan playlists down below in case you're interested in seeing the shadows I'm working on and pan those eyeshadows, or any of the other products that I'm working on throughout other various projects. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's Shop My Stash video, and I will plan to see you back in another 3 weeks for another Shop My Stash. Hope that everyone is having a phenomenal day, and I will catch you in my next video.